Have the Chicago Bulls already fired Jim Boylen internally, and we just don't know it yet? Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA here to talk about the Chicago Bulls. So if you're a Bulls fan, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I know some of you haven't, okay? So go ahead and do so. And make sure you turn on the post notifications because you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And I do so every single day pretty much. So make sure you guys do that. And also follow me on my social media, guys. Links down below as always. So with that being said, you guys obviously see the title. Let's talk about this. Is Jim Boylen, has he already gotten the boot and we just don't know yet? So where is this news coming from? Well, it's basically coming from Joe Cowley, who's a reporter for the Chicago Sun-Times. And he went on a radio show. And he basically talked about this, and I'm paraphrasing here, that behind the scenes, the Chicago Bulls have already kind of decided the fate of one Jim Boylen. It's really all about timing in terms of, when they want to do it. But the decision itself, that's already been all but made, okay? And boy, I got to tell you, okay, when I heard this, when I read this, I was ecstatic. Now, it's not to say that Joe Cowley can't be wrong and, doesn't mean that, this is absolutely, true and I'm taking it for what it is, but it makes sense and it aligns with what I have been telling you guys this entire time. You have to understand when a new regime of a front office comes in to just any team, not just the Chicago Bulls, but since we are talking about, of course, the Bulls, when a new regime comes in like it has with the Bulls with Arturos Karnisovas and Mark Eversley, they're going to want their own head coach, okay? And Jim Boylen, he's the old regime's coach, okay? I don't even want to say their names because it makes me want to throw up when I think about them. But Darren Paxson, there you have it. Okay, I just threw up almost internally right there, just saying that. But yeah, this is the old regime's coach. They're not going to want him. And there was some, reports that there's a chance that Jim Boylen would stay with the Bulls. I never bought into him, okay? I talked to you guys about them, and I told you guys from the jump that Jim Boylen, the second, the season is able to resume in some capacity, Arturos Karnisovas and Mark Eversley are giving Jim Boylen the good old boot, okay? Handing him his papers and telling him to get the hell out. Now, here's the thing. In terms of the timing, I'm not surprised by this either. Why hasn't Jim Boylen been fired yet? Because the NBA season is suspended. There's, issues with, people even being at the facility. So everything's virtual at this point. And I'm sure as much as we all, despise Jim Boylen, everybody deserves to, get that face-to-face meeting. If you are letting somebody go, that is at least the courtesy you can have. And so I'm sure that is what Arturos Karnisovas and Mark Eversley and the rest of the Bulls front office want to do. They want to give, that final the final send-off really, to Jim Boylen and basically meet with him. And so I'm sure that's what they're waiting for. And so once this entire thing settles and they're able to meet with Jim Boylen, I have no doubt in my mind that he is getting fired that first meeting. Okay? So excited about that happening. I can't wait. And in terms of, the coaches that the Bulls should look for after they fire Jim Boylen, because it's a matter of when, not if, okay? I've already mentioned a couple names that I like, but I'll bring them up again for you guys if you guys forgot. So these were my coaching candidates that I presented to you guys, way back when, a few weeks ago. And I'll revisit them, okay? Kenny Atkinson, my number one choice. He was a former head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. They let him go for dumb reasons. Apparently, KD and Kyrie didn't like him for whatever reason, but he is a perfect coach for rebuilding situations like the one in Chicago. Then another coach that I really like is Adrian Griffin, who's the assistant coach right now, I believe, for the Toronto Raptors. He's been assistant coach for God knows how long in this league, but he is way overdue for a head coaching job. And would be fantastic. And he was actually an assistant for the Bulls and a player for the Bulls previously. So love Adrian Griffin. Dave Yeager, another guy a lot of people don't think about. He coached the Kings and the Grizzlies. The Kings just for some reason, he was having a great year with the Kings and they decided to can him. Okay, folks, when bad organizations make these moves, these awful moves, you got to capitalize on it. And the Bulls need to with Kenny Atkinson and with Dave Yeager. And finally, a lot of you guys like Mark Jackson. Obviously, he's still out there. I don't even know if he's interested in, going away from his broadcasting gig and doing coaching. But if he does want to, he would be my fourth option on this list. I'm just not that high on him as I am on the other guys, but certainly he's not bird over Jim Boylen. But then again, pretty much everyone is, okay? And the one thing I will say is don't even bring up Tom Thibodeau's name. I don't want to talk about Tibbs. There's no chance in hell that Tibbs is coming back and coaching for the Chicago Bulls. Not happening. I'm sorry, okay? And there's already reports that he's, trying to take the Knicks job. So hopefully that works out for Tibbs, but that's not happening. So before you guys even comment, stop. That's not happening, okay? So with that being said, those are my candidates for the Bulls head coaching job. But like I said, folks, we're so close. We are so close to Jim Boylen getting canned. And here's the thing, folks. Okay, this team, I've said this to you before, I'll say it again, has way too much talent for how pathetic, awful they had performed the past 2 seasons with Jim Boylen. I mean, you want to talk about anti-player development? Jim Boylen is the poster child for that, okay? You got a team that a lot of rebuilding organizations would die for, with our core of Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., Kobe White, and you should be at least a playoff, a borderline playoff team, and the Bulls just not even close to that. Pretty pathetic with their efforts. So again, like I said, if you gotta defend Jim Boylen, you got some issues here. I shouldn't have to convince you on this. Okay, he's an awful coach. This is another thing I've said from day one, and I'll say it again. The second the Bulls fire him, there won't be a single team that hires him for their head coaching job, and that should tell you enough and everything you need to know about him as a head coach, okay? Hope he lands some assistant job somewhere else, but not with the Bulls, okay? So good riddance. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later, but like I said, folks, as far as when we should expect to hear this, look, if the Bulls decide to let Jim Boylen, coach these final 5 games of the season resumes, because the Bulls aren't making the playoffs, we know that. But if their season resumes and the Bulls have 5 games left to just play out the season, I won't be surprised if they, let Jim Boylen coach those games. It's whatever. Maybe they want to start fresh, but honestly, I do it right now. I do it as soon as possible. I just want him out of here so that the guys can get adjusted to somebody new. And you can use this time to kind of, bring somebody in. And you should have been using all this time, and I'm sure they are, the front office, to interview other candidates and to talk to them. But yeah, folks, like I said, sooner than later, I would want it to be, right now. But they might just be waiting for some formality. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. Do you think this is true? Do you think Jim Boylen's already been fired internally? I do. I believe the decision's been made. They're just waiting for it. It's a formality at this point. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe as always. Thanks for watching.